It's a small role, but you made it big. Was that intentional, or you were just there in this very grand moment that you all are describing, and Clifford just became larger than life?
Thank you. I just did what I thought was appropriate for the character. Like I thought that he was someone who had lived a closeted lifestyle for a very long time, and he was not interested in being inside of it anymore. Mm-hmm. So he was going to be out. I wanted like the hair bigger because I was like, that's a good representation of being out. You know what I'm saying? I think the costume designer saw me when I was trying on clothes. He's like, you know, we don't need all those clothes. We could just do, we could do less. Have him be more out. You know, I also knew that he had to be somebody for Jeffrey to contend with, because Monk is trying to hold everything together, and so Cliff is being one of those things that's not necessarily going along with the plan, right? And in honor of the folks that I know in my life who are LGBTQ, who felt as if they had to be less than or shape themselves into something that wasn't their authentic selves, I just wanted to say, like, there's no attempt at happiness unless you go with who you are most authentically and at your core. And that's who he's messy. He's a little messy right now, but he ain't gonna be messy forever. And I think one of the things that Cord really did that struck me is that the last scene was added between Jeffrey and I, just being in the car and driving off together. And the way he describes it is that he felt like it was sort of a central love story to the film. And if people ask, well, what about Coraline? He said, like, if Coraline showed up, it would have been a happy ending for Monk, but not necessarily for Coraline, right? But if Cliff shows up, that's just what he said. That's what he said, is all I'm saying. She would have been okay. That's what he said. That's what the writer-director of the film had to say.
What does he know?
The person who said the leader of everything. But he said if they show up, then it's a win for both of them, because they've been outside of each other's lives, and now you get to know that they're going to be okay. And if they're not okay, at least they're going to be not okay together. So I think that's pretty good.
I know a lot of stuff is on the page, but I'm curious, that moment between you, Ms. UGGAMS, and Cliff, when you're dancing in the room, it was so beautiful. Was that scripted?
It's scripted.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely scripted, and yeah, no, that one's in the script, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful moment, because I think Monk got all the attention, and through her illness, now I think there's a coming together, even though she says the wrong name. But I think there's a coming together that's gonna happen, and he'll be more present, I feel, in her life.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't appreciate what you had to say, but...
You never did.
No, this is it. If you would have told me I was a genius to my face, maybe I'd show up more. But the beautiful part of the moment, in terms of being in the presence of a master class in performance, and I'm talking about Miss UGGAMS in this particular instance, is she is lucid and she is fully present. And when you're acting with her, you see her and you're seeing someone who you think is present, and then you see her and you're like, and then she says it and you're like, you be acting up. You be acting, because I was like, in my mind, Sterling singing Leslie can't break Sterling's heart. But it's like, Mama is gonna break Cliff's heart. And it was such a simple, small, because you're smiling, and it's like, these people are going to connect. This person who he has said like was a bad mama and wasn't there for him the way, like, finally it's going to happen. It's like, man, let me go ahead and go outside. Beautiful.
Ms. UGGAMS, you played the matriarch of a very lovable yet disjointed family. Can you tell us about the various relationship dynamics at play within the family, and what emotions you tapped into encapsulate that in your performance?
Well, I mean, we all have messy families. You know, all of that.
You need a microphone?
You know, there is always someone in the family. As a mother, there's always one child that does a little bit more for the mother than the other ones do and stuff like that. So that's easy to connect if you have children. You know what I'm talking about. And but also, I lost my mother, and my mother was a very dynamic kind of person, and I could see within this role that this woman had, I mean, her husband killed himself,
Yeah.
you know, and she went through that, and he was a cheater, you know, but she tried to keep the family together. But a lot of times we don't want to tell the truth, so we don't say anything. But we know in that, you know, telling moment when she says the clip, you know, I knew you were gay. Of course she did.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was those kind of moments, and plus I had a friend that had Alzheimer's, and I could see the changes in him. Maurice Hines, he was like a brother to me. We just lost him.
Yeah.
And so I went through that with him, so I got a lot of times where I could focus on how he used to call me up and repeat the same conversation over and over and over. But the other thing is that she was the caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
And now the children have to step up and they have to become the caretaker. And as we get older, you just never know.
Yeah.
So it touched me, the whole thing about this woman. She was amazing. Plus she was smart. She had 2 houses.
That's true. She had a house on the beach. Hello. Yeah.
All the children doctors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But somebody's got to write, you know.
Well, I'm wondering why they cast you as the younger brother. The little brother.
I don't know, man.
We're gonna have time for 1 or 2 questions for the